Joining us here now in studio, very exciting. We got a rodeo rumble coming to Tropical Park Equestrian Center on March 1st. We've been talking about it this week. Leroy, you know we love the fight game down here, and we got a couple of individuals in studio with us here. We have former Miami Hurricane and heavyweight boxer Raphael Akpejiori joining us here. It's good to talk to you again, Raphael. How are you, man? Everything good?
Well, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to see you. And, of course, his trainer and the legendary former champion of the world, Glen the Road Warrior Johnson, joining us here as well. Glen, thanks so much, man. Really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me, man. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this matchup with this whole fun card. We've had some of the fighters on already for the lead up to this. And I just what has been the vibe for you two in camp, Glen? How have you liked the lead up to this one so far?
Man, this one has been great. This is one of the best camp that we had. He's really listening. He's training hard. He's changing some mistakes that he was making. I'm really looking forward to see how he's going to produce in this fight coming up.
Now, Raphael, you when you suffer your first loss, like what was going through your head? Because when you're undefeated, I imagine you feel untouchable, unbeatable. Like what goes through your head when you have to bounce back from something like that?
The first thing is depression. The O is gone, so you're no longer an untouchable. You kind of have to take some time. Your phone stops ringing. People stop loving you.
Rats off a ship.
People stop loving you. The media stops calling you all the time, and
Man.
you kind of have to go back home. You have to face Glen Johnson, who's looking at you like, what have you done? And kind of bounce back. Look back at what you've done wrong. Watch the fights, which has been really, really hard to watch. And start regrouping. Regrouping is a hard part because it's been, I would say, 6 months since the last fight. And also, it was on national TV. So losing on national TV is not fun, especially when you have to come back to Miami and face a guy like you. So, it's you have to regroup, retrain.
Yeah.
We made a lot of, I won't say we made a lot of mistakes because Glenn didn't. I did. Because it was such a huge opportunity for me on ESPN. I made a lot of mistakes with my training, a lot of overtraining, a lot of weight training that was not necessary, a lot of extra things that I should not have done, thinking as an athlete instead of thinking like a boxer, and like you said, I've been doing a lot of listening. Listening is a skill in boxing, like I like to say, because people see things that you don't see. And there are a lot of opportunities that you have to take that you wouldn't necessarily see. But having someone that has done it for a long time, you have to listen to him. And since I started listening, things have been working. I had a fight 2 weeks ago in the Dominican Republic. I fought a guy who was 23-4, a seasoned vet. And the way things came together for me was really good. Watching that, it's night and day. And hopefully I can translate what I've done, what I did 2 weeks ago, away from the mistakes I made in my last my last opportunity on Top Rank, and translate that good thing to this fight. And it's going to be a good day.
Well, Glen, I want to ask you this because, you're a trainer and he's an athlete that has played basketball and football. And in basketball and football is strengthening your body, right? Weights and whatever.
Right.
But your method is a little bit different. How did you have to get that to him and say, hey, it's not about how strong your body is, and you kind of need to get away from that? Because I know as an athlete, that is number one. You need to train your body to take this beating. You need to train your body, and the way you do that is with weights, and you're on the other side of that.
The other side, exactly. Now, that's a good question because that's always been the hard part with guys that done other sports and come into boxing. It's difficult to get through to them to say, listen, you have to leave the weights alone and focus on the skills, the technique, the fundamentals of boxing, because it's not your muscles, it's how you use your body. You have to get your body to operate a certain way to get it to function properly in boxing. So it's a different thing. And a lot of the times, especially the younger guys, they don't listen to that because they all caught up into lifting and looking good for the girls, and all of this strength and strength take care of everything, and the muscle
Right.
is boss and all of that stuff. So it's a difficult task, but like I said, this loss that he went through is a good and a bad thing. It's bad based on your record, but it's good based on the humbleness that came back with him, and the ability to listen, pay attention, and now soak in the information better than he was doing before. Because before he would hear it but not listen to it. And he did a lot of that. And I know when I tell him certain things, he'll hear what I said, and he'll do it for a little bit. As soon as I turn my head, he go right back to what he was doing. But now I give him the information, I turn and walk away, talk to somebody else, and I turn back, he's still over there focusing on what I just told him. So it's a completely different person doing completely different things, and his success is greater. So I'm happy and I'm looking forward to it. And if one good thing that come away from this loss is the Raphael that I have training now.
Raphael,
was it hard for you? Was it hard to just leave that behind you and leave those weights and the mindset of strength behind you and get into the boxing like you said earlier?
Yes, it is hard because for up to over 14 to I'll say 16 years, you wake up every day, you pump iron, you go and do your work, and you
Right.
think that in boxing, because it's such a manly sport, you have to be the strongest, you have to be the biggest, but it really isn't that. It's it's a high level condition based sport, and you can't. Every time you spend in the weight room, every time you spend doing things that you're not supposed to be doing away from the boxing, that's time taken away from developing your skill in the sport. And it's not the strongest man that wins. Deontay Wilder is 215 pounds, skinny and he knocks out 280-pound guys. He dropped Tyson Fury, I think, 4 times in 3 fights. So it's not about that. There's a skill to it, and you have to really focus on that and get it. So yeah, it's been really hard. It's been tough, but I've overcome that, and I'm looking forward to showing the new version of who Raphael is. And I don't have to say anything, but you're going to see it for yourself.
How much do you when you fight locally, do you get that support from the Canes? Because there's like a lineage of Canes by Alonzo Highsmith, Quadrine Hill, even Frank Gore. I've seen him, trying to get to it. But you've built up a very strong record. You've gone and put in the work and on that. But when you see, I guess, that support, these local fights, knowing that you played for a school down here, what does that mean to you to kind of dive into something else when you've had the local support and now you're in this other path?
It's great. I've gotten a lot of support from them. The last fight I had here at home, I had the entire basketball team, Jim Larinaga. I had the football team. Ed Reed came through. It's been great. It's something that you can't buy, and I see it as a luxury. The next event, David hit me up and said he was going to try to come. D Jones, all my former football players. What's his name? Mongo. What's Mongo's name again? The left guard for the 49ers that just went to
Feliciano.
We call him Mongo. He is
Feliciano was getting into it on social media this fast.
It's great being a part of that. I won't say a cult, but that part of our fraternity. It's amazing. It's something that you can't buy. It's something that not everybody has, and them seeing you, them continuing the field that you all started and seeing you having to transition to another field and still be an excellent, still representing world. It's a privilege and something that I'm proud of, and I'm grateful for them for always showing support in their individual ways.
Glenn, I'm curious, what do you tell Raphael about the idea of, because he mentions, people can be rats off a ship and don't treat you the same when you are undefeated and untouchable. You've been at the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. What do you tell him about that, about how people will be in your corner when everything is, when you knock out Roy Jones and you are on top of the world, and then when it's gone, people are just you find out, I guess, who's really in your corner.
Yeah, they move on to the next ship they can jump on, basically. You know, they knock off the ship, they jump on the next moving ship. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, you know, all you have to do, man, is just focus on the work. Focus on your boxing, focus on your technique, stay focused, because it's the only thing that can change your future, right? Is the only thing that you can do that will change things moving forward. If you still want to fight, you have to focus on what's going to get you there. And that's basically what I tell him. I say, you got to come to the gym. You got to just focus on your work, focus on the technique, focus on the fundamentals, and just listen to the things I'm telling you, because I know what works. I've been there, I've done it, and I know about the great support. And I also know about when you're the only person in the gym and nobody else is there, and you have to put in the work. And then soon as you get to the spotlight again, everybody rush back. So it is what it is, but you just have to stay focused on the work, because it's the only thing that changes things.
Guys, we can't wait to see it. March 1st at the Tropical Park Equestrian Center. Rodeo Rumble's going on. You guys can get your tickets at mundoboxing.com. But Raphael, can't wait to see it, man. I know the bounce back is going to be strong. And you know, you've already gotten, people know now that they know the name. I know you'll get back out there, man, because you've already proven the work. You got to that spot. Plenty of guys I've seen locally don't get to that, to get to that attempt. So you know how to get there. I know you'll figure out a way to get back there and get that to right the wrong this next time around, man. So we cannot wait to see it. Appreciate you, and Glenn, always appreciate you giving me time, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We can't wait to see it, guys. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll be back with more after this.